Yes, g'day, folks, and welcome to the podcast that has been the #1 cricket podcast in Mauritius for the past 32 days. Now, it might be longer. I don't have access to that sort of information. But they love us there. I believe the government of Mauritius has changed its national motto. Obviously, in Australia, we are Advance Australia Fair. In Great Britain, it's God Save the King. Now, apparently, in Mauritius, it's God bless Tequila Tabasco and the Duckworth-Lewis Stern system. So a big hello to all our listeners there. Anyway, I am the Professor. I am a lover of heavily condensed sporting competitions and of super sticky wickets at high altitude. That's what gets me going. Now, first of all, I would like to apologise for the week off. We, sadly, the four of us could not coordinate our diaries. Vaughany was off in Portugal. God knows doing what. We'll find out. Gilly, he was on a film set. Apparently he's a movie star now. I was on an eco farm without Wi-Fi or power in Mount Froome. And Ollie, well, you know what? I'll let Ollie tell his story as to why he was unavailable. It's quite the unbelievable one. Anyway, so in today's podcast, I think I speak on everybody's behalf when I say it is one of our main pillars here at Club Prairie Fire that no matter what, we always offer the right of reply. When Vaughany had a beef with Hawkeye, we said to Hawkeye, come on. We'll give you the opportunity. He didn't come on. When Vaughany had a beef with Muhammad Hafiz, we said, Moe, get on here. We'll give you an opportunity. Still, he didn't come on. When Ollie had a beef with the staff in charge of the search engine on Raya, we said, come on. Come on, we'll let you have a chat. They did not. However, what is your bloody point, Prof? Last episode, we asked the devastating batsman Virendar Sehwag who his favourite bowler to go after was, and he said none other than Ronnie Irani, that big, bustling English right arm all-rounder. Well, Vaughany, being the diligent member of this team that he is, has gone to work and he has found Ronnie Irani, and today, right arm Ronnie has the right of reply. There is every chance that his favourite batsman to go after was Viru. Tonight, we will find out. But before we get to Ronnie, let's bring in our panel of esteemed cricketing legends. First of all, a lovable lefty whose favourite bowler to go after was the futurable honourable member, Monty Panesar. It's Adam Gilchrist. Welcome, Gilly.
Yeah, hello everyone. Prof, you have had a bit of time to think, haven't you? In the
I have.
Little farm stay with the family. Well, geez, I got a chuckle when you sent that one through. Yeah. You'd have been primed up. How was the car ride to the farm stay?
It was long and no power for 2 days. I mean, these eco farms talk about solar panels. It didn't work out for us. In the end, my wife and I were finding ways to get our children to fight. So,
brilliant, mate.
Anyway,
all good here. I'm back on dock, and my tail is wagging in anticipation of this one.
Oh, very good. Next, it's a rogue righty whose favourite cricketer piss off was Justin Langer. That's right. It's Michael Vaughany. Welcome back from Portugal.
I got burnt one afternoon. Yeah.
How are you, Vaughany, by the way? Just quickly, good? Portugal?
Yeah, good. I had a few days in Portugal. I was 5 or 6 margaritas in and had a bit of a nap on the sunbed. Didn't realise it was sunny. I got burnt. Got a real body of burntness. So, good to be back on the pod. We had a week off. I have to ask, Ollie, how are you? I think that's the most important question.
Yes. Tell your story. Why were you not available, Ollie?
Thank you. Yeah, and sorry to the listeners for missing a few days. But what I thought was just a little sore throat turned into viral meningitis and 4 nights in a hospital bed with fluids being taken from the bottom of my spine, which travelled from my brain. So it was a hell of a time. But I'm all right, and I'm actually I'm best man at a wedding in Kent on Saturday. So I'm going back to London for 6 days if the doctor gives me sign off. A good Essex lad, just like our guest.
Yes, let's not waste any time. Let me bring this man in. Let me introduce tonight's very special guest, a former England all-rounder who one Indian cricketer, who remains nameless, described as lots of fun to bat against. A 6'4", thunderous medium pacer who Cricinfo labelled as a less athletic Imran Khan. Well, forget Cricinfo, because I guarantee you the pencil neck propeller head boffin who wrote that blurb didn't play 31 ODIs for his country like our next guest did. Please welcome the man affectionately known as Reggie. It is Ronnie Irani.
Yeah.
All right.
Big Ron.
Yeah.
I'm all right, Michael. Nice to see you, mate. You're glad you had Portugal. Nice little trip. Nice tan. Not bad for a Yorkie. Yorkies love a tan, Gilly. Any chance to get a bit of sun.
Don't they?
You're not used to it, you see. They're right under there. They always get burnt, Yorkies. So, to see you, Adam, anyway. Everything all right with you?
Yeah, good, Ron. Awesome to have you, mate. Wonderful to see you. Been far too long since we've crossed paths.
Yeah,
And,
agreed.
of course, dating right back to 1991, Australia versus England under-19 Test and one-day series. Jesus, they were the halcyon days, mate.
They were first time I experienced you slapping me around the pitch, let alone Sehwag. Blimey. So, it was an incredible series, that as well. Some real gun cricketers. I mean, that was when, for me, Damian Martyn sort of just jumped on the scene. You were like outstanding, but Damian Martyn was like just a worldie at that age.
He was different gravy to all of us, wasn't he?
Oh, mate, Damian Martyn. Listen, I just remember Mark Waugh talking about him too when he first came on the scene, and he was just an absolute gun money, absolute gun. Fabulous cricketer.
He got 100 in that Test series, that under-19 youth Test series at Chelmsford, and I was standing on the balcony at your favourite home ground there, Ronnie, and Richie Benno happened to just drop in and watch a bit of the under-19 Test match. I don't know whether he was bored or something, or
from France. He had a place in France, didn't he? I just popped in from France, Stansted Airport. He used to pop in. Oh, he did.
No, he was standing there, and as Marto brought up 100, and we're all hooting and hollering and clapping and cheering, and Richie just sat back and goes, I suspect that's going to be the first of many for Australia. Yeah. And it was, didn't need to be Einstein to work out that Marto was going to go on and play a fair bit, but Jesus, he's a friend of the show, Marto. He's been on the pod very early in the piece, Marto, but it was a good series. John Crawley, I think, was your sort of main marksman with bat in hand, and a couple of decent bowlers and a fine all-rounder.
Yeah, what happened to Dave Castle? What happened to him, the off-spinner? Why did he not make it from Tassie?
He didn't turn it.
He was all right. He was a ripper.
Mate, he lived in Tasmania. He kept getting hit back to the mainland. So,
right. No, I liked him. Enjoyed him. It was all right.
He was a good bloke. They were good times. Vaughany, I can see you just poking your finger up there. You got something to...
Yeah, I was. I was at that Old Trafford Test match that you guys played in.
Yeah. I got 100 there. I got 100.
I actually wasn't there that day, Ronnie.
I forget the ball and I used to bat as well, but you know.
Yeah, I'm afraid, Ronnie, I was there the day Damian Martyn was putting you to the sword.
Yeah, everyone to the sword. Listen, Vaughany, when you were coming through and you made your debut against me at Old Trafford against Wasim Akram, and you were, I think you got 80 odd or whatever, you played outstandingly well. You wore a few on the hands, and Damian Martyn as a player coming through. Listen, he's gone on. He's had a fantastic record as well. Let's be honest, but he was up there with the best, like proper. I mean, they're all as good. It's all about opinions. Who's the best? It's about opinions. Nobody's the best. It's an opinion of who's the best. And Damian Martyn is a young player, you were outstanding coming through. Adam obviously playing against him, but he was incredible. His timing, he was a winning attitude, and it was just a pest off the field, wasn't he? He was just a nightmare off the field. Good fun. I mean, I think his old man was knocking around as well, his father, and they were just good times and good memories. But as a young player in that Old Trafford Test match, Damian Martyn, he launched us every single game. But Michael, honestly, he was just a top player. But I was lucky enough to get some runs on that Test match. I think at Old Trafford on a dry pitch, I got a few, so it was all right.
Ronnie, you did indeed. You're spot on about Marto. He was a touch of class. That Old Trafford one, and you did get a fine 100 there. Me personally, that was I had an absolute stinker. I can't even remember how many runs I got, but wicket keeping, I had an absolute nightmare. You're right, it was a dry, turning pitch. I reckon there's about 40 byes. I just could not glove a ball. So, I parked that. I thought, that was an interesting experience. Let's hope I never bloody have a game like that again. Fast track it to 2005 Ashes. 2001 Ashes, we didn't play at Old Trafford. 2005, one of the more remarkable Test matches in possibly one of the most remarkable, extraordinary Test series. Outside edge off the bat of Vaughan, I dive, drop him. Next ball, off stump ripped out of the ground, no ball. End of day, Vaughan 174 not out or whatever your word, Vaughany. I had my worst Test match, and this is all seriousness. The worst Test match in my mind in my career was Old Trafford 2005. What was that? 24 years later, after a youth experience. Or 14 years later after a youth experience, which is just, I mean, as you know, boys, there's grounds that you walk into and you go, yeah, I feel at home here. I'm right. I'm ready to go every time you get there. And there's other grounds where you go, fuck, I do not want to rock into that joint. I don't want to go near the change rooms. I certainly don't want to go out in the middle. But that was Old Trafford's my...
a bit of bounce, obviously turn, the way you play spin, it suit you. You think you'd be all over it. It's amazing, isn't it, really?
Hated it. But anyway... they were good memories, though.
Hey, Ron,
good times, isn't it? Sorry about that, Ollie and Prof. We're just reminiscing here a little bit.
No, we're enjoying this show. I forgot we were on. This is great.
I was fortunate and privileged. Listen, I brought up with Adam, and Adam went on and had a fantastic international career. Michael as well, and the two great guys. From a human level, we'll talk about cricket here, and we can have a bit of fun and talk about how good we are or how bad we were, But from a human perspective, you got two absolute guns here of people. There's no doubt about it. And, for them to go on and have a professional career in cricket was amazing.
What about Ollie and Prof, bro?
I don't know. I'm worried about Ollie, about him breathing on us on the camera. I don't want to be in a casualty like that.
It's a very good point.
Prof sounds a bit of a farmer's boy, so we'll get we'll go out a bit of shooting, won't we? Is that going about you got a farm or something, Ollie?
What's a farmer's boy?
I don't know. You've got a farm. Have you heard about a farm? You've been out on a farm?
My wife decided, we live in Sydney in the city, but my wife decided to give the kids an adventure. Let's go to an eco farm. And needless to say, we won't be going back.
Hug a few trees, and it's lovely, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Solar power, wind power.
Yourself. Well, find yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Hey, Ronnie. So you go, Vaughany, and then I'll get into it.
No, I was going to get to you guys too. Obviously, the reason why Ronnie's on the show is not to reminisce about the Old Trafford under-19 Test match, but a right to reply. I mean, Viru last week, Sehwag. What was his quote last week?
there was a few quotes in the clip. The main thing was Sehwag, right, for good or bad reasons, has become our most engaged social clips ever. The 6 clips have done well over 1 million views. 10,000 likes was for the Ronnie Irani one, and there was a lot of defence for you here, Ronnie. A few lads have come. There's one particularly I enjoyed where they had their own conversation, and Thomas Lee jumped on and said, "I won't have a bad word said about Ronnie Irani." That was like the most liked comment. 27 likes to that. Then BLKCR says, "Such a good bloke, Ronnie. I remember him working up the crowd at the SCG." Was the followed-up reply. But someone else came in. "I remember when I was young, Ronnie refused to sign my bat at the SCG until the Barmy Army told him to. Then he signed my bat."
That's made up.
They were the social updates. But you've got a lot of people defending you there because, Viru essentially came after you and said he hit you for 5 sixes. Now, we've been sent the clip, 5 fours. It was actually only 4 fours, and you got him out as well with your second ball in an ODI just a little bit after that. So,
well, his comment, Ronnie, was that every bowler he faced in the history of cricket that he played, and Sehwag would have played God knows how many bowlers, he could pick anybody that was his favourite bowler to go after, and he picked you.
I know. A part-time bowler, can you believe it? No, listen, Virendar was a fabulous player, there's no doubt about it. When I first come against him, I think it's probably early in his career. That's probably why his lips were sort of licking his lips thinking about me. Early on in his career where he was making sort of great waves in India, and he come across, we played the one-day series, which Michael played in as well. And, I'd just heard about this lad, I didn't really know of him. The next Tendulkar labelled, and he come in and he was outstanding. He was unbelievable. I wasn't the only one who disappeared that series, by the way, but that particular over I can remember it was just a typical dry Lord's beautiful deck, which Gilly and Michael relate to, just a proper batting paradise. You forgot the slope, you just caned it in the middle of the bat. You just wanted to get out there. And he was just hitting it to all parts. You were like born on the highlights of TV, let alone the main stretch. And he he was taking everybody apart. Everybody in the sort of first 15 overs, power play, everyone was getting smashed. And Nasser saying went off with cramp, like captain was he disappeared, did Nasser. He had cramp. I think he got 100 in that game, Vaughany, if I remember rightly. And he got cramp and he went up. And Marcus Trescothick was a great guy, fantastic player, but just an absolute wonderful soul. He's like, he's no options. Everyone disappeared. Everyone fetched. And I'd bowled okay in that series. I bowled quite nicely. And I'd mainly bowled outside the 15. And he turned to me and he went, next over, pavilion end. And I'm thinking, oh, no, please. I mean, I'm thinking I'd like to line myself up as a batsman, let alone am I going to take the challenge on of Sehwag and Ganguly. Ganguly was the other one who was smashing it to all parts. So I thought, all right. Anyway, you take the challenge on, and I'm thinking, I'm going to disappear here. There's no doubt. Everybody else has. And you try and come up with a few bag of tricks and what have you, but it just wasn't happening. It was just a deck that was just a real appetite to bat on, and he fetched me proper. I wasn't the only one. He smacked us to all parts, and he was a top player. So for him to actually mention me as a category of an international bowler that he sort of looked forward to playing against was a massive compliment. It was huge. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? And I got him out as well, one of the part of the series, which was a nice touch, but I won't get him out too many times. Sorry, Vaughany, you got your hand up, pal.
Well, I was going to say, Ollie, what did he describe Ronnie's bowling as? Doubly bubbly? What was it?
Doubly bubbly, yeah. Which I thought was maybe
I was by then. I was knackered by then. I was like, listen, I had a stress fracture. I was knackered by then. I was coming to the end of my career, but listen, I was mainly a batsman who bowled a bit, but I appreciated his comments of actually remembering me, which is incredible, to be fair. And I just took people on with the ball. I just took people on because I was up for it, and I bowled a bit, and I did all right. Mainly, I was a batsman who bowled.
Let me take you back to that scorecard quickly. The Oval, July the 9th, 2002, NatWest Series. England, rain affected, 229 for 8 they got off the 32 overs. Who had the highest strike rate? Just a certain Michael Vaughan, if you don't mind, coming in at 5. 30 off 17 balls. Two fours and a 6. Who top scored? Ronnie Irani, 53 off 55 as well.
Sweet.
And then bowling, England have only gone and won by 64. Ronnie Irani, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 26, including Sehwag in that game. They got Sehwag, clean bowled Kaif, got Yuvraj Singh stumped, AJ Ratra caught behind, Ajit Agarkar, the enemy of Vaughany, for a duck, caught Collingwood for a lovely 5 for there as well. Hell of an ODI.
Oh, yeah. Mate, that is brilliant. Sorry, did you say he had Ajit Agarkar stumped?
Caught Collingwood. He had Yuvraj stumped.
Oh, Yuvi. And the wiki up
on the leg side, Gilly. It's probably a wide.
who had the mitts on? Stewie or someone did, wasn't it?
Yeah. Great hand, Stewie Gilly, by the way.
Brilliant.
He was a top batsman, but people underestimated his gloves. Great hands.
I don't remember too many having bad hands over there.
No, good hands, old Stewie. Ronnie, just a minute. We asked Viru last week who his favourite bowler was to face, and he's obviously popped your name into the equation. Of all those Indian batters, which of those Indian batters did you enjoy getting out the most?
None of them. I hated bowling against all of them. It was a nightmare. Just worried about pitching up. But on that wicket at the Oval, it did a bit. So fair play. If it was a little bit in the wicket at the age I was and a body that was knackered at that stage, I was in the game. And I think the best wicket was for me was maybe it was either the game before that, Michael, or the one after we played at Lords against India, and I managed to just get the scalp of Sachin on that day.
Join the club, Ron. Join the club.
Well, just before we go on to that particular game at the Oval, Adam, Michael come out, but I batted 3, and I went in and smacked a few around, and then I just settled in. Michael come out, and he might, I don't know if you remember this or not, but he got off to an absolute flyer. It was like batting with Ricky Ponting. Honestly, he just come out, and Michael had all the shots. I know he'd like a test career, and then the one day as he sort of felt that. But listen, Michael had all the shots all around, and he absolutely come out blazing. And I turned around to you, Vaughany, in the middle of the ground. I don't know if you remember this, and I said, "Blimey!" I said, "It's like batting with Vivian Richards." And he went, really? I went, yeah. I said, like, but you're hitting the ball like Vivian Richards. I've been out here for about 45 minutes. I said, you've come out the blazing and the strike rate. I didn't know at the time, Prof and Ollie, but yeah, he was on it that day for sure. I mean, he's a great form and a brilliant career. But I think, yeah, I mean, my favourite wicket of all time, I guess, was at Lords. And I was fortunate again because Sachin had given me a bit of stick. Not a bit of stick. He was ice cool, wasn't he, Tendulkar? He was an amazing human being again and probably the greatest of all. But that's down to opinion, like I said earlier. And he, I was trying to, like, get his concentration going. And you couldn't. I was just having a bit of fun. I never sledged like, you know, the pure Aussies do of time. I was just having a bit of fun. And I was having a bit of fun. And Sachin was having nothing of it. And anyway, I walked past the bowler's end and I said, hey, Sachin, we'd had a team meeting the night before. And Darren got off with his wisdom and said, you know, who's the ball to bowl against Tendulkar? And he went, Ronnie, you're the man for Tendulkar. And I'm like, what? You're having a laugh, aren't you? You're joking. He said, no, you don't play your type of ball in well. And I'm like, no, please. And Nasser went, yeah, brilliant, end of meeting. We'll have a bit of that. Anyway, I turned up next day. I'm trying to get into Sachin a little bit. He's having nothing. And he turned around to me and he said, a bit like Virendar Sehwag, he turned and he says, I said, Sachin, what is it with you and your batting against bowlers like me? And he said, Ronnie, he said, this is my 305th one-day international. I like your bowling. And that was it. What do you say to that? So I walked past him. I'm thinking, I've got him here. He's like, I broke him. Not. I'm like, anyway, I managed to get him at LBW. And, you know, as he walked past us, I sort of come past and I said, got him out. I was lucky. Umpire gave him out. I said, hey, Sachin, this is my 5th one-day international. And I like your batting.
Well, Ronnie, we've just seen the scorecard. You got him out for 1. I wonder because our aim is to get Sachin on this podcast one day. He's a
lovely man. He'd come on.
Well,
he's already knocked me back.
He won't. He was a true great player, great man, and he's got a place near Vaughany's house anyway. He lives near Lords, doesn't he?
Oh, there you go.
You might be the man for us here, Ronnie.
Sachin's great. He's just. Yeah, listen, he was a brilliant. I got lucky once. Other than that, then again, he used to block me. We went to Chesterley Street, and he got a great 100 up there, Michael. And he just he was brilliant. He won the game. He got a great 100. That's where Nasser called Kaif. He said, "Are you the bag carrier or something?" It was like I had a go at Kaif, and then he won that. He got a great knock in last final, and I think they called him bus driver or bag carrier or something. Kaif because he come on with the drink. He was sledging. He wasn't even playing. He was 12th man. I'm like, Nasser, what are you doing? This could bite us really in the backside. And it did the last game. He smashed it. But Tendulkar got 100 at Chesterley Street. And I bowled against him. Well, 10 overs on the... It was one of them, I think, where you just throw on the ball and let him just, you know, carry on like a real horse cart for 10 overs. And I managed to bowl. And he never hit me for one boundary in that 10 overs. I was so happy with that because everybody else fetched. I went for a few, I think, but he never hit me for a 4 or 6. But I think I went for a few.
Ronnie, just looking at that in your figures, I've just mentioned your 5 for there and your 8 overs. In the Lords game, that's the game that Sehwag said he hit all the runs in. You bowled 10 overs for 33, and 16 were 1 over. And then in Chesterley Street, 10 overs for 23, and they posted 288. You never went for more than 30.
Listen,
I reckon we need Sehwag back on this podcast. I think he's got this wrong.
I think so too. He's got the wrong bowler.
He hasn't. No, seriously. No, guys. He hasn't got it wrong. Seriously. I didn't mind bowling a few and giving it a go, but trust me, I'm at these boys' levels for sure.
I tell you what.
Against myself, Gilly.
Ronnie, the sense of surprise and then burst of laughter from all of us when we waited in anticipation from Viru about the name he was going to name. When your name came out, we were stunned, disbelief, but we're all the better for it now that we got you on the podcast, mate. But there are impressive numbers that Ollie's reading out.
Yeah, and there's one more to add to it. You did lose the final just 3 balls to go. Posted 325. They chased it. If you don't mind, another 2 for Dinesh Mongia and a certain Rao Dravid. Another 2 wickets. Good series for Ronnie.
Was that final the rip the shirt off one? on the Lord's balcony. Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Now,
I think I got
Ronnie,
player of the series that one, but don't tell Verinder that.
Oh, there you go. Now,
I got player of the series as well, but you know what I mean. It doesn't really matter. But listen, I was just appreciative he remembered, to ball at him. Yeah. I didn't like balling at him. Nobody liked balling at him, really. I mean, he did tear attacks apart, didn't he? He just went out and smashed it. Very similar to, I guess, Michael Slater was the first that started to do that, Gilly, wasn't it? Slats, when he burst on the scene, taking on Ambrose and all these guys in a test match. I mean, that was just phenomenal watching Michael Slater burst on the scene.
Ronnie, you were the fans' player of the series, so the fans voted. It was they said he's the man for us, not the officials. Ronnie, this show, look, we're all about paying it forward. So obviously, Verinder said you were his favourite bowler to take on. Is there a batsman that you want to now say that? So next week, Michael Vaughany has to go and find a batsman. So somebody you want to call out as the favourite guy that you like to bowl to?
No, there is no favourite at that level. There isn't.
What about in the county game, Ron?
If an international bowler Vaughany comes on this podcast and says, "Oh yeah, my favourite international batsman," that would be like, you are having a laugh, aren't you? I mean, if everything's in your favour, then fine, you'll take anybody on. I will. I'll take. All of us will. We'll take anybody on when the conditions in your favour. But when they're not, at international level, there's nothing between anybody, in my opinion. And no, any favourite player you want to bowl against? I mean, I was mainly a batsman who bowled a few. You know what I mean? Batting wise, it's one of those. I was surprised.
Ronnie, you must have had a bunny in the county game, though. Who was your bunny? Who was the one batter in the county game that you just knew that you always got?
I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but you asked the Essex guys. It was Graham Hick, weirdly enough. No,
Mr. 500.
He did spank me around a few times, but I just had a bit of a voodoo on him. It weren't like I was marked. Listen, Graham Hick was a million times a better batsman than I was a bowler, right? Given.
Only 100, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was just an incredible player, and I played with him at international level. I made my debut with him, and I think sadly, press and media, everyone got onto him. He was a top player. He was a top player, Graham Hick, great player. And I like I say, he wasn't somebody I was really excited about bowling against, but I just had this sort of over him a bit. I don't know what it was. It was weird. Maybe again, like I said, Tendulkar, Graham Hick, they didn't like my type of bowlers who was up for it and didn't have a great deal to offer, but kind of delivered now and again. Maybe I should have been the Amazon of bowling, always delivered. I don't know. It was one of those, you know what I mean? Like cheap and cheerful, but always delivered Amazon. But I think from that side of things,
Vaughany, how did you two go against each other? Because there's a bit of undercurrent, isn't there? There's a bit of Yorkshire, Lancashire of Ronnie v Vaughan. So how did that go over? I know a lot of Essex, but started off at Lancashire. Did you two?
Ollie, I'm depending on you. I've got one here for you. You better dug this one out. Vaughany, will you go first, my son?
Here we go. I don't think I played that much against Ronnie at Lancs, but I played a lot against him at Essex. And I think I'm guessing I did okay. That's my guess.
Well, there was one real flat deck at Scarborough, right? Played it at Scarborough, Gilly.
Oh, mate. Yeah, well, we talk a lot about Scarborough on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. All right. I didn't know that. Well, it was a flat deck, and Vaughany his eyes lit up when I was running into ball, and it was like, it was almost like a bit of, free food coming from off the old buffet. And I just lined one up for him, and he climbed into it, and I think he hit it that hard. I don't know, was it caught at slip or wicket keeper? And he absolutely tried to smash it, and he marched off so angry with himself, I think. But he just went out a little bit, just left him off the pitch. No, I didn't. It swung. He didn't leave. Nobody leaves you off the pitch at Scarborough. Was that the one at Scarborough, Ollie?
That was the one I've got here. Yeah, Bowled Irani, caught Cow and Michael Vaughan for 25 in Scarborough.
What day of the week was that?
What day of the week? 30th of August 1998. Let me check that. Shade's Wine Bar was open.
It was functioning.
And Vaughany had been there the night before. You can see the CCTV. Here we go.
Yeah.
We have a theory on. There's a theory on Tuesdays at Scarborough. Oh, here we go. Oh,
It was a Sunday, sadly. Yeah, it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday night would have been massive in shades.
Yeah.
Hungover. Ronnie, Ollie, can you just check a game at Chelmsford that I might have got 200s in a match against Ronnie? Just check on that.
Oh, surprise me.
My battery's just died. Sorry.
Just check that one, please.
Actually, I don't think I played in that game. I actually don't think I played in that game. I think I was away. Was that about 96?
Oh, have a look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, while he's Googling, Vaughany, what are your chances of getting Michael Hick on?
Graham Hick.
Sorry, I'm not talking Michael Vick. I'm talking NFL. Graham Hick on the next podcast, just a return serve.
Probably got more chance of getting Michael Vick on.
Hey, by the way, don't be telling Icky that I was his bunny. Please do not do that. That's not fair. It's totally not fair. I'm not having that.
Yeah, don't worry, Ronnie. These clips never go on social media, so you're all safe here. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm just struggling to find the Chelmsford one, Vaughany. But in that game in Scarborough, Ronnie, you were top scorer as well with 37, double.
Well, that's not a lot, is it?
It wasn't a great Essex total.
Now, while he's looking that up, Ronnie, what we like to do on this podcast, and if everybody's amicable to it, is that Ollie likes to write a quiz based on our guest. Normally paints the guest in a very bright light, and our regulars not so. Are you up for that now, Ronnie? If once Ollie's located this game, if he's the quiz master, you're good for that?
Yeah, you're not just pretty faces, you two, are you? Eh? Bright sparks.
Brains.
Definitely
Quiz as well as banter. Why me?
Do you want me to have a? I don't know what you're googling here. I will do that while you do this quiz.
Do the quiz. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to find that. Vaughany may have dreamt a double century.
Listen, a man of that calibre doesn't need to dream about how many runs he's got. He got plenty. Don't worry about that.
I remember I was facing the mighty Paul Grayson's left arm spin.
Oh, Paul Grayson's left.
I don't think I played in that game, Vaughany. Actually, I must have been away with England or injured or something. I don't know.
I think Suchi might.
I remembered it.
I think Suchi might have played as well,
Yeah.
and Cowan. I think
I don't remember you getting 200 against me. I don't remember that, Vaughany. I wouldn't have played. I didn't play in that game.
Didn't play. I just had a breather. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, it's the Ronnie Irani trivia quiz. 5 questions. You know how it works, higher or lower, and we're going throughout. So, number one.
You look after me here, Ollie. You've been kind on me, Ollie, on this one.
Yeah, I've been pretty kind. I mean, it's cricket info. Right, so number one is, what is higher, Vaughany's T20 international runs? Because obviously we've had some squads announced. We'll get on to later. Gilly's Test 50s, or Ronnie's ODI and Test wickets. So Vaughany's total T20 international runs, Gilly's Test 50s, or Ronnie's ODI and Test wickets combined.
You've definitely overthought this, Ollie. You've definitely overthought this question.
He's had a bit of time sitting. He's had a bit of time lying on his back in hospital, so he's been digging deep here. But
I'm going Ronnie. I'm going to start by saying Ronnie.
You're starting with Ronnie.
yeah, I think Ronnie's wickets as well. You're saying Test and ODIs?
I am. Yep. Ronnie, what are you throwing yourself? Yeah,
probably not, but I hope so.
We've got 27 T20 international runs for Vaughany. Very good, 27.
Solid.
Solid strike rate.
It was good. It was in 2 games, not bad. Gilly, 26 Test 50s for you. Ronnie, 28 ODI and Test wickets.
Oh, massive, huge.
They're including Tendulkar, Dravid, Sehwag. They're worth
Keep going, Ollie.
Yeah, there you go. Mohammed Cave. Okay, so 1-1-1 overall. Question number 2. What is higher, Ronnie's List A runs or Vaughany's List A runs?
Ronnie.
List A, so that includes domestic one-day cricket too, doesn't it? Like
Ronnie. I'm going Ronnie.
Can Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm going to go Ronnie too, actually.
Oh, wow. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, then again, he played a lot of international cricket, didn't he?
That's what I was banking on. Yeah, I think Ronnie might have missed a bit of stuff where you would have been getting List A stuff.
Where he got picked and I didn't, basically.
Yeah, that's right. What was that? Did he nudge you out? You're upstaging him, getting Tendulkar out.
We're all
we'll say that.
We're all going Ronnie, are we?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. We have got
really.
Vaughany.
I'd go Michael as a batsman, but maybe the stats.
Okay. Okay, we've got Vaughany, 7,238.
Ooh.
Ronnie, 7,733.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, just a pretty face, see.
Not just there we go. Okay, then what is number 3? What's higher? Gilly's first-class centuries or Ronnie's?
Oh, first class.
First
It's
class.
like 2 test matches, though.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I know how many test hundreds Gilly got. First class hundreds, you'd have got what have you got, mate? Ronnie, you've got loads. You bullied the county bowlers all over the country. Bloody Guildford, Ilford, you name it.
How many first-class games you play on?
Forever.
I'm not on Google here. How many hundreds of Gilly? He's got plenty. He's got masses. It's got to be Gilly. I'm going Adam Gilchrist. I'm not having that. He sneaked me. About 10 probably or 20.
I'm going to stick with Ronnie. I'm going Ronnie.
Same.
What?
I'm going big Ron too.
We have 30 first-class entries for Gilly and 28 for Ronnie.
Rightly so as well. I can't be having that one.
So I think it's 2-2-2. I think, yeah, because Ronnie, when Ronnie's 2, so scores 2-2 Number 4, what is higher? Vaughany's ODI sixes, Ronnie's ODI batting average, or Gilly's T20 international appearances?
Oh God, mine's ranked down there below. So
I don't think any of us feature too heavily here.
My ODI sixes.
Your ODI maximums. Well, we've already heard of one of them there.
Yes. Yeah. When you were batting like Viv, I think there's a quirkiness to you at the moment. It's about this stage where you're. What do you have? Malaria, meningitis, something.
All of it.
When that's kicking in, you're going quirky. I'm going to go Vaughany.
You're going
Really?
Vaughany's.
What was Gilly's question?
It was Vaughany's ODI sixes, Ronnie's ODI batting average, or Gilly's T20 international appearances.
Oh, Gilly's T20.
Ollie, can I just ask the straight question that everyone wants to ask you? Was it just a hangover?
Yeah, I think the drip sorted me out. So you probably.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go. It can't be my sixes. I'm going to go Gilly.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gilly as well. Got to be.
Okay, we have 13 ODI sixes for Vaughany.
Oh, Jesus, where did they come from?
top edges, the wagon wheels. Then we've got 13 T20 international appearances for Gilly as well.
Wow.
And we have Ronnie's ODI average at 14.4.
14 ODI average, can you believe it? Hey, what a career. I'm just out there, Gilly.
Oh, mate.
Hello, sacrificing down at the bottom end, batting 7, 8 and 9.
Mate, why did you move? Who moved you from 3 when you got 50 at a run a ball against India?
Yeah.
Forget that. I made my test debut against India in 1996. I went in and we were struggling a little bit and it nipped around and sure enough, had a bit of pace about him actually.
Yeah,
he stuck up us and Prasad was nipping it around at Edgbaston.
Yeah.
And Kumble was... Anyway, cut long story short, I went in and I got, 30 odd or 40 odd off the same amount of balls. So I went for it, just, made my debut and was flying. And I got one off jab and just gloved one in front of my face. And that was it. And then the next test match we played against India again at Lords and I did all right, did well. And I was like, I thought I'm settled here. And then we got to Trent Bridge and it was an absolute, it was an absolute road. Beauty of a batting pitch and reputation all summer. There was runs flying everywhere. And then they come up to me, Davy Lloyd and Mike Atherton said, you've done really well. You've had a great start to your international career. And won at Edgbaston, you turned the game there. Nasser went on and got his first 100, I think, for England on that game. He gloved one down the leg side and Darryl Hare didn't give him out, but won't even go there on that one. He'd made his way and he was off, was Nasser. And I was like trying to fight my way in 1996. And then Lords was brilliant. We drew that, and then last Test match, Trent Bridge against India, flattest deck possible, and they go, "You've done really well." I'm thinking, I'm definitely in here. I'm looking at 100 here, just banking. I'm thinking, yeah, I'll get. I'm away. Done really well, but we're going to give Mark Elam a go because we've seen what you can do, and he's going to get a chance in this game. And Ely was a very good cricketer, and I thought, what? I'm on a minute. What do you mean you're going to give him a go? No, we're going to give Ely a go and just see what happens because we want to have a look what he's like. I'm thinking, I've earned me right here. What? And I ended up walking off, gutted. Like third test, I'd done all right, a couple of 40s or whatever. Only be able to pull up the stats and I started. And I know packing my bags in the morning of a test match to go and play against Leicestershire, right across the road, because that's what you had to do. You've been left out. You've been like first test match, brilliant, like against India at Edgbaston, which is an amazing atmosphere, as you can imagine, against India in Birmingham. It was phenomenal. Oh, it was just electric. And then down to Lords. Then I'm buzzing. Career's all going to kick off here. Or we're going to give someone else who's done really well. I packed my bags. I'm like gutted, walking back to his dressing room. Got in the car. The test match is just about to start. I turned up at Leicester and I bagged a pair. At Leicester. I couldn't get it off the square. My head wasn't in the game. I just first time I ever realised about the mental side of the game. I'd never discovered it before, never realised it before. And it was just crazy. But it was one of them, innit? Listen, you do your best and it's who favours you and who fancies you at the time when it comes to selection. Whether it be a captain, manager and coach, you just go out there and prove yourself best you possibly can. So, listen, I won't swap anything. I had a brilliant time. I was fortunate and privileged to have a career. And, it was only a stepping stone of what you're going to do for the rest of your life being a professional cricketer. But I've seen your lad on a few videos there, Vaughany. He's looking all right, your boy. Shaped up's all right. He smacked a good 100, didn't he? Was it 100 he got, I saw?
He did all right. He's more delighted that Sheffield Wednesday stayed in the Championship, to be honest.
Yeah,
he looked all right. And Freddie's lad as well. Freddie's boy, okay?
I was going to say that good footage going around of Freddie's young fella. Looks
very
giving me nightmares from 2005 as well. But Ronnie, we've got to finish this quiz. But I noticed. That's all right. We can. Don't worry. Some of it might hit the edit room for. No, it won't. We'll keep all of it in. But I love. You've mentioned Mark Waugh previously. I know your admiration of Mark Waugh, and what I love is you've embraced his level of embellishment on your scores. Like you said on your test debut, you got 30 or 40 odd, I think 40 odd.
30 was 30.
34 off 34, perfect. But always round up. Always round up. That's what Junior does. If you get 20, you say you got 30 odd. So I like that, mate. That was excellent.
How did they get at Lords? Did they get at Lords? Did they get 30 on at Lords, was it or not?
Yeah, you actually got one in the first innings.
Oh, I did. I got a ball around my legs on that one. That was a classic, that.
And then you got 40. You got 41 off 100 in the second innings.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I was playing for the draw. That was Duckie Bird's last test match, Duckie Bird's last test match. We played on this wicket. It was an absolute bell to dry. And Duckie Bird was crying for 5 days, and there was damp patches all over the wicket. He cried for 5 days with his last test match, Duckie Bird. Unbelievable.
You did pick up some wickets though in that Lords one. You got Ajay Jajeda clean bowled, and you got the captain in the first test, Azharuddin. You picked up another good one there.
Two blokes that were banned for match fixing, but other than that, they fought back well. They're credible humans now. Don't worry about that.
I must admit, some of those figures you mentioned earlier, I bowled tightly against India. I don't even remember that. I'm thinking I could be right on that scheme, that Gilly. To be fair, I signed up for it. When did that happen?
Let's get this thing back on track. Let's go. Question 5.
It's 2-2-2.
2-2-2. So, question, tiebreaker in some respect.
2-2 for 2. Is Richie Beno back in, is he?
So we all want different answers here, and you can all give them because none of you are going to know it. But what is higher? Ronnie's runs conceded in first-class cricket.
Blimey. Give us a break, lads.
Gilly's first-class runs. or Vaughany's first class balls bowled?
Well, I hope it's Gilly's first class runs. I hope it is, or else I'll be. Then again, I did bowl a lot of overs.
Gilly's first class runs, Ronnie's runs conceded in first class, or Vaughany's first class balls bowled?
I'm going to go Ronnie's conceded.
What? I've had Sehwag letting me have it, and now you're going at it, Vaughany.
You played a lot of cricket, Ron. You bowled a lot of overs.
You did.
Yeah, but Gilly was a gun. Absolute gun, Gilly.
Which way are you going, Ron? So Vaughany,
I'm going you, mate, all day
Ronnie.
long. Yeah, you have to have scored more than I hope you did anyway. I hope you did.
So you're going Gilly, Ronnie?
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gilly, you're
I'm
taking
going Gilly,
Vaughany's balls bowled in
I'll-
first class cricket?
I'll take Vaughany's stat.
Vaughany bowled 9,342 balls.
Not bad.
In first, not bad. Good economy.
How many wickets did he get? How many wickets did he get?
Loads,
122. 122. Or mate, we'll round it up to 150.
150 odd.
180, 200.
200 with DRS. Then Ronnie, you conceded 10,007 runs.
What's the average?
He scored 10,334. So it is a win for Ronnie Irani.
Yeah, well done.
What was my bowling average? Was it under 30? No, it can't have been under 30. 35?
We'll get it up here. Your bowling average in first class cricket was 29.51.
How many poles?
339.
Good numbers, Ron.
Economy of
That's all right.
2.94.
Not bad for a part-timer, Gilly. Not bad for a part-timer.
Ronnie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate.
Nice show,
It
guys.
is time to say farewell. Thank you so much for coming and regaling us with your tales. Hope all is going well. Gents, is there anything you want to say to Ronnie as he departs?
Pleasure,
thanks,
mate.
Ron. Ronnie, I'm delighted that Virendar Sehwag has made you famous once again.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll say a big farewell to you, mate. Absolute pleasure to see you. You've always been a life of a room and a party, and you brought your usual personality, mate. And very, very gracious of you to come on and tackle the Sehwag issue in the manner which you do, mate. Bloody good fun. Take care, big man.
Thanks, cheers, Michael. I appreciate it, Prof and Ollie.
Brilliant,
nice
Ron.
show, guys. And, I wish you all the very best now and in the future. And well done. Good show. Keep the fight flying.
Ron, just before you do, your hairdo at the minute, are you going for the short sort of side and a bit of the mullet at the back? Are you going for the Aussie look, are you?
I'm not going for anything. The mullet was in Australia too, but they love the mullet down there, didn't they? They love the mullet. Hey, the Aussies, they love it. No, it's short here. Just very grey, Michael. You'll find out about that one day, mate. You'll find out about that. Anyway, what are you talking about? Hey, you had a cap on all this. What's up with you? Get your cap off.
No, that's what I mean. I'm just happy to have hair, whatever the colour.
It is my own. It is my own. I could have had it imported, but it is mine. Don't say that.
All right. Very good.
Brilliant, Ron. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Okay, well done, guys.
There you go. Ronnie Irani, the man, the myth, the legend. Vaughany, well done getting him on, mate.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. He's a good man, is Ron. He's a good talker. He obviously has got some nice stories to tell. He's got a bit of humour about him as well. So good to have the Ron seal on.
Very humble.
I'm excited to see what the viewers think that puts you in the Ashes guest scores.
What's that worth? What's a Ronnie Irani worth?
Yeah, because obviously Rohit's just ticked over 405,000. It'll be interesting to see what Ronnie ticks on, because Essex is a big county.
But you did say that Ronnie's clip with Virendar Sehwag got, 10,000
likes.
So that obviously counts towards the kind of...
Right. That's the audit process, is it? What I loved about Ronnie, here we were all set up ready for him to absolutely return serve on Viru, and he's actually agreeing with him, going, "Oh yeah, I'd love to face me."
Just glad to be mentioned. Just glad that he remembered me.
An honourable mention to be in that group.
But I tell you, I played a bit with Ronnie. He was the most confident guy that I played with, probably up there with Kevin Peterson.
Yeah, wow.
Honestly, of all the players, he had a swagger and a confidence in that dressing room and on the pitch as much as any player that I played with. As I said, Kevin Peterson tops the list, but he had an ultimate belief in what he did.
That, Vaughany, I saw the word, as you said that, going back like we did back to 1991, under 19, belief is what I saw in him, just in himself. Not an arrogance, not an overconfidence, but just a belief in he could get every bit of talent out of himself and present his best case, which is a good example.
And my favourite interaction of all the socials this week, we do have a couple for the social update. The one he replied when Vaughany tagged Ronnie in the social club on Twitter. Ronnie just replied with a clip out of the scorecard of Sehwag bowled Irani, caught Stewart, crying face emoji, which was fantastic. And there is one more social before we leave that's important, actually. I think someone's gone back through the archives and found your printer fiasco there, Vaughany, where you're you're going on holiday in August to Prague.
Yeah.
And we've had someone reach out actually in Prague. So this is the Viru Cricket Club. And they've said, we hear Vaughany stopping by here in Prague for some ballet. It'd be wild if we could hang for a little cricket conversation and legit beers if he's had enough of the ballet. Holler back at us Vinos. They're called the Vinos if you fancy it. So you've been invited to a Prague Cricket Club in August.
Yeah, well, I look forward to that. If they could send me the address.
Yeah, well, Vaughany, you love legit beers as opposed to fake ones. You've always said that.
Yeah. I mean, is there a fake beer market out there?
Apparently, there's a big one in Prague.
Right.
All right, now let's kick this along a touch, gents. Yep. The Cricket World Cup, the T20 Cricket World Cup, is not far off, and these countries are starting to announce their squads. We've learned of Australia, England, India, South Africa. We don't have much time left, gents. I guess let's start with you, Vaughany, the English squad. Any big surprises there? Anybody left out? Anybody included?
Well, the big inclusions, Jofra Archer. Great to see Jofra back in the mix. It was actually great to see on social Jofra playing club cricket in an orange outfit in Barbados. And he got a 50 with the bat, and then I think the stump that he's knocked out the ground in Barbados, it landed in Antigua.
Yeah, Ollie's just showing us now. Goodness me.
3 for 16 and 54 not out of 20 balls batting with his England helmet on, if you don't want a bigger flex than that.
There is England pads as well.
Yeah. Which is, it's great to have Jofra back in the mix. I guess two players that I'll mention that were slightly unlucky. Chris Wokes. Wokes has been a big part of the T20 squad for a while. He misses out. And Gus Atkinson, who on the last T20 trip to the Caribbean, he was England's best bowler. So they've gone with Chris Jordan, who's an all-round kind of plays in all the leagues. He can bowl down the back end and also whack sixes. It's clear from what I'm seeing from all these teams that they're all going for power. They're all going for six hitters, and England have done exactly the same.
Absolutely. Let's very quickly. Joss Buttler, Moeen Ali, Jofra Archer, Johnny Bairstow, Harry Brooks, Sam Curran, Ben Duckett, Tom Hartley, Will Jacks, Chris Jordan, Liam Livingston, Adil Rashid, Phil Salt, Reece Topley, and Mark Wood. Gilly, let's turn our attention to Australia. Same question to you, mate. Any big surprises?
Yeah, so just touching quickly on the England, the 4 fast bowlers in the squad with 2 that are pretty susceptible to injury. Well, Jofra, we don't know where he's going to be at, and then Mark Wood can be a bit vulnerable at times. So, I mean, these squads, I think they can be changed again leading into the tournament, but I think it might be under medical issue or something like that. I don't think you can just chop and change. There's got to be a reason to leave someone out from here on in. So, but no, that's it's a power pack lineup, the England one. Australia, the big talking point was Jake Fraser-McGurk not being there. He was on a bit of a hot streak in the IPL since he got his chance. I wouldn't say it was at the expense of David Warner, but he got a chance in amongst David Warner's fitness issues with his hand, his wrist. He only knows one gear. Someone said to me, I think a journo rang me up and said, do you think it was just a case of his, international cricket's tougher than domestic cricket, which is IPL, and maybe he's not quite ready and will be a bit fearful of the big stage. And I went, mate, he will play no differently on any stage. It doesn't matter whether he's in His Majesty's Theatre or in the local theatre out the back of B-fuck Idaho, he will perform at full pace. So he doesn't fear anything. The other bloke I reckon is a bit stiff was Jason Berendorf, left armour. I reckon he's been very, very reliable. He's a really canny, cagey operator. Always does well in the Big Bash, and he's well performed for Australia. So they're the two that were probably the ones that people, will look at. Certainly Fraser McGurk, and the other big ticket item was Steve Smith, but that I don't think was a surprise. I think that even he would admit that the pace of the game might have moved on a bit quicker than what his personal game in that format has. So another power pack lineup. You got Tim David Stoinis played the right hand at the right time in the IPL just to absolutely firm that spot up. He played a brilliant innings over there, and pretty good all round squad. Oh, very good all round squad indeed.
Power.
That's
loads of power.
Yes, loads of power.
But when you're leaving a player like Jake Fraser McGurk out your squad, you've got a chance.
Yeah, and a few teams, and probably India as well, who we'll probably get to, and England, they did bank on a bit of experience, didn't they? There was a name or two there where you could go, maybe I don't know, was it Warner that might have made way for Fraser McGurk? But I reckon the selectors put some value on experience and heritage and what they'd achieved. So there's a lot of World Cup winners in both the England and Australian squads.
Absolutely. That Aussie squad: Mitch Marsh, captain; Ashton Agar, Pat Cummins, Tim David, Nathan Ellis, Cameron Green, Josh Hazelwood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Glenn Maxwell, Mitchell Stark, Marcus Stoinis, Matthew Wade, David Warner, and Adam Zampa. Right, finally, gents, India. Plenty of other teams to get into. We've got another show on Thursday. We might go through the other squads then. But India, any standouts here? Any big surprises?
Just going on that, I was going to say just the socials. This Sanju Samson and Shivan Dubey, everyone was calling for, which you guys have mentioned both at length. But Twitter went off for Rinku Singh. That was the talk of the town on that. Yep. So good to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, Shivan Dubey's probably taking his spot because he bowls a few overs. That's the problem with the Indian batting lineup is that not many of them bowl a few overs. So they generally go into a T20 game with 5 bowlers. So, if you get one dispatched as an opposing unit, it can really derail what they're trying to achieve, India. I had a bit of a problem on social media the other day because I announced who I thought were going to be the 4 semi-finalists. And the 4 semi-finalists that I put on social media were England, South Africa, the West Indies and Australia, which obviously didn't go down that well. And one of the main reasons that it didn't go down that well is it's actually impossible for those 4 to make the semi-finals. Because obviously there are groups and a certain couple can go from each group. But I'll be brutally honest. I see one of the winners coming from England, South Africa, West Indies, Australia. I just think they've got so much power. And the game's moved on. We've seen, this impact sub in the IPL, I think it's just ruining the game. I just think it's got to be removed for next year. 225, 250, it's becoming the norm. Will that be the case when there's just 11 players playing in the T20 World Cup? Probably not. The pitches might be a little bit slower as well. So if it's a 175 World Cup, I think India can be very, very competitive. But if the World Cup is like the IPL 225, 250, I think there's more powerful batting units. And I think those 4 teams that I've mentioned, and particularly the host, the Caribbean, the West Indies, they are strong. They have got some power. It just depends on what kind of pitches and what kind of power scores are going to be. If it's a 175 World Cup, I think there's quite a few teams that could come into the mix. But if it's an over 200 star World Cup, I think those 4 teams that I mentioned, one of those teams will be winning it.
Yeah, Gilly, you've also been out there in India recently. There's one name I'm amazed isn't there, and maybe you can shine a light on it more. He's currently 3rd in the run scorer, 6th in the wickets, and having an absolute fielder, Sunil Narine from the West Indies. Are you amazed he's not being involved in that squad at the current stage? Because it's a very strong squad, but he is setting the world alight every time he plays.
Well, yeah, absolutely phenomenal numbers. 14 wickets at an economy of 6.5, 461 runs at an average of 41 strike rate, 180. But I think he's been out of, I think by choice as much as anything, out of the West Indies setup for a while, hasn't he? And then I think there was a lot of discussion about whether Rovman Powell and the like were begging him to come back and play the T20 World Cup. And I think he sort of just brushed them away. So I think, unless I'll stand corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure that he just sort of, no, thanks. I'll leave it to you boys. But his numbers extraordinary. I think the West Indies, that is an extraordinary lineup in their home conditions. They will be powerful. Rinku Singh is the big name missing there. KL Rahul, was just too many trying to fit into too few spots. And Shubman Gill, probably on the back of that lack of bowling point that you made, Vaughany. He's another young up and comer that misses out on some more experienced campaigners, but probably spoilt for choice. There was about 6 wicketkeeper batsmen that every night on Crick Buzz we'd get on there, Vaughany, wouldn't we, and speculate who got the boarding pass and who's not. But I think there's a bit more power in other teams, but they're banking a bit more on experience there in that Indian lineup.
That lineup, Rohit Sharma, captain, friend of the pod. Hardik Pandya, Yasavi, Jaswal, Virat Kohli, soon to be a friend of the pod. Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Sanju Samson, Shivan Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, Axar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal, Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj. And they've named reserves as well. Shubman Gill, Rinku Singh, Khalil Ahmed and Avesh Khan. That West Indian side, very quickly, if you just want me to race through that, they've named Rovman Powell, captain, Alzari Joseph, he's vice-captain, Johnson Charles, Roston Chase, Shimron Hetmia, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Nicholas Puran, Shai Hope, Andre Russell, Romario Shepherd, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Gudakesh Motti, and Sherfane Rutherford. So all very strong squads. Very excited for this World Cup. I'm assuming at some point some big company is going to sponsor this show and fly us all there for a great time in the Caribbean. I mean, it's imminent.
Yeah,
based on the numbers we've had. Guys, you heard anything or no? Good.
Nope.
Ollie, all very quiet.
Yeah, it's coming though. You can sense it.
Okay, very good. If you are a large company and you want to sponsor us, send us an email. Hey, gents,
I love the fact that on the WhatsApp group, one of you threw it out there that there was an agent that was trying to get in touch with us to talk about a company that really is desperate to sponsor us, and our agent can't even find that agent.
That's obviously because the agent that can't be found is clearly doing the deal, and it's taken some incredible hard work. Yeah. That means he can't be on his Wi-Fi. It's that secretive.
Yeah, of course. Pen and napkin stuff going on.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, wonderful episode, Ronnie Irani, one for the ages.
Yeah.
Gilly, all that's left to do is the wonderful toast.
Yep. I'll just pour a little bit of the. Jesus, that was a generous pour. A bit heavy-handed there, but yeah, we started this. It has been a long one because the sunset is coming through my blinds as we speak. I reckon I started at lunchtime, but good fun. That was brilliant. As you say, we always like to give everyone a right of reply, and it's nice now that someone has had the courage to come up and face their adversary and agree with them in the end, funnily enough. But big cheers to Big Ron. Well done, Skipper. Well done, Vaughany. Good job getting him.
Yeah, well done. And I hope.
Do you think we'll be able to get Mohammed Azharuddin?
I don't know about that. I know he was running for politics over there in the elections, but I don't think he got up somehow.
Well, now that he's seen Ronnie, you never know. Now he's seen the platform we gave Ronnie.
I think the quote from Ronnie was, Sachin always struggled to get me away. So I think that's the next right of reply. It's Mr. Tendulkar.
Hey, just before we sign off too, I had a good chat with our T-shirt and cap manufacturer the other day, and keep an eye out very close for some hot properties, hot merchandise hitting the market.
Not as good as these. I forgot to show you these on the pod for the ice bath.
The Yorkies.
The Yorkshire White Rose Budgie Smugglers.
Jesus, look at those.
Look at those bad boys.
Right.
They'll be going on later on today after my game of paddle.
It'll be a baby budgie in the ice bath there.
Yeah, followed by my bucket.
There's actually a pub in Avalon called the Yorkshire Rose. And yeah, there is. And it's a great little pub just Northern Beaches. And I have asked them to get a picture of you up because it's mainly just the royal family, Vaughany. But we're going to get you added onto them because they're a lovely couple and they've got Boddingtons on tap.
Is Prince Harry is Prince Harry in that royal family picture or not? Good.
He's not.
No, he's gone. Okay.
He's gone. Yeah.
I was just asking, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're up to
That's
speed.
a shame. He was the only good one. That's a real shame. All right.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Hey, gents, we will see you, I believe, later in the week.
Yeah.
Club Prairie Fire. Find us at Club Prairie Fire on all socials, YouTube, etc., etc. We will we'll see you next week.
Adios.
Adios.
Well, remarkably, you've watched the show. Thank you. That's all I can say. And if you really like it, press something, I don't know, something on the screen, press it, or subscribe. That'd be really handy. It'd be really nice. Thank you.